Everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. It is Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, January 10th. Time for Sunday Night Live Chat. We are live on two formats, on YouTube and Facebook both, so we will give everybody a few seconds to jump on, and we will get rolling here shortly. Okay, got a few people starting to get on with us, so we'll go ahead and get rolling with tonight's chat. As always, thanks for coming back. Really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. Last week, we did have some feed issues on Facebook. I noticed for quite a while we were not getting any comments fed. And after I got done and went back and refreshed the page, I had like 15 more comments pop up right after we got done. So, we did have some feed issues on Facebook. Like I said, I always try to address all the comments I can when I get them. So please keep that in mind as we work through this. Got some of our friends on. Dan with Defiance is on YouTube. Dan's always with us. My buddy Bill Twitchell's here. Jason's here, our OTR driver. Thanks for giving back, Jason. I did notice you missed last week, so glad you're back. Scott's on with us. Vic from Iowa. My buddy Robert's on, which is great because we're going to talk about some wheel covers tonight. So thankfully we got Robert on with us. California's on. Our good friend Glenn from Minnesota's on. Thanks for coming back, guys. I always appreciate you guys swinging by and hanging out with us and having a good time. So, like I said, I'm going to try to catch all the comments I can. I'm going to miss a few here and there, but that's going to happen, especially when I don't get them fed. If you are on YouTube, I hope it looks a little different. My good buddy Mike Shook just commented it is better because I texted him before we got started to check out and see if this new camera on YouTube is going to help the feed there. So hopefully that's good. James just jumped on with YouTube. Thanks for being here, James. PJ's on. Brad's on. Brad's trying to buy my sign, my great GM feeling sign. That's probably not going to happen, Brad. As a lot of you know, I'm a big GM Goodwrench fan. That 70s, 80s era GM stuff, I love it. So a crazy price. I don't even want to put a crazy price on it because it would be like really, really crazy because I really don't want to sell it. Dawn from Nashville just jumped on with us. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So I hope on YouTube, I hope the feed's a little bit better with the new camera. I went to webcams on both formats, so hopefully that's working out. Chris just jumped on with us on YouTube. Pat knew he's from Missouri, heading home out of Colorado. So thanks for being here, Pat. Since you're new, I hope you enjoy it and can hang out with us on a more regular basis. 69 Le Mans, nothing there yet, Chad. Randy just jumped on with us on Facebook as well. 65 F100 in Michigan. Thanks for being back. I know you're usually here with us. Dan says the new picture is good on YouTube. That's great. Nick just jumped on Facebook. Thanks for being here. Yep, that's right, Brad. It does never hurt to ask. You can throw any of those questions up there whenever you want. That's what we're here for. So anyway, so far the questions are working well. My buddy Maddie just jumped on with us. Thanks for being here, Maddie. Classic Ride Society, Fort Worth's in. Thanks for being here. I know you've been hanging out with us. Glad you guys made it back. So what's going on out there? Obviously, we like we talked about last week, we are into auction season. Obviously, January is big for auctions. Unfortunately, there aren't very many of them this January since Barrett got backed up to March and several of the other Scottsdale auctions got backed up to March. But Kissimmee is rolling. Lee just jumped on Facebook. Chad, 73 Dart Swinger parts. I don't have any 73 darts. I've got 172, but it is a four-door. So if you need some stuff that would interchange off a four-door, I may have some on that 72. But Kissimmee's up and rolling. It started Thursday, and sounds like things have been strong. Brad in Nebraska is going to – if you want to come down and buy me out, Brad, that could be arranged. I mean, it's all for sale, so I can sell you a lot of cars if you want to buy a lot of cars. 38 Plymouth, Nick, nothing in 38. I've got a couple of 37s, but very little left of them. They've been stripped fairly hard. But Kissimmee's rolling. Talked to my buddy Jim Wicks. He's heading down Tuesday. After talking to him, he's talked to some people down there that he knows that are already there, and he said market's been strong. I looked at some of the results online, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. I would agree with that. I've seen a lot of things that look like they've been pretty stout down there. Retired Disposed just jumped on. Thanks for being back. I know you're a regular with us. Vic likes our valve cover. Yep. Like we've talked about in the past, you're going to see a lot of valve covers pop up because I'm a huge valve cover fan. I got a lot of these Hemi valve covers, and so got lots of them to get into the mix. I've got Fireflight, Firepower, Red Ram, Industrial. Do not have Imperial. Do not have Marine. If you've got Imperial or Marine valve covers, I don't have those. I'm interested. Jason trying to buy a 41 Lincoln. That's cool. And but he didn't get it bought. Well, that stinks. But Jason, if you've got any other stuff, we're going to get to you here in a minute with your OTR report. If you've got anything else to tell us about. Chris had just asked about the valve cover as well. So that's the scoop. Like I've said before, I love valve covers. I've got a lot more to mix in there. So all kinds of cool stuff. But yes, this one is DeSoto Fireflight. Like I said, I've got Chrysler Firepower, Dodge Red Ram, Chrysler Industrial. All those we'll see in the coming weeks, as well as tons of other cool valve covers as I mix them in with signs. So, Retired Disposed from Ohio's on with us. Thanks for being here. No TV anywhere like Barrett Jackson. Yeah, that's cool. And you know, and I like Meekum just as much as Barrett, if not more, because I think the reserve cars add a little drama to the set, to the scene when you're trying to see if they're going to sell the car or not. Brad says there, you're right. Everything's for sale except the wife and kids, unless you want to rent them by the day. So that's good comment there. Old Nate looking for old script valve covers. The Olds Rocket valve covers, I do have some extras on those that I would sell, Nate. I do have several of those. I love the Olds Rocket valve covers, but I do have extras on that one if you want to give me a call when we get done. Terry's on with us. Hey, thanks for being here, Terry. I have not got the hood open on that Charger yet to check that linkage. It's jammed, and I got to take it all apart to do it. But anyway, on the Sunflower Swap Meet, I did text Renee a couple days ago. Have not heard anything back from her because her and John are the ones that own it. So I'm working on that, Terry, and hopefully we'll know something here in the near future as to what they can or can't do with the Swap Meet this year in Wichita. Rico and Jess are here. Always great when Rico and Jess are on. Mark from Syracuse. He's new. Thanks for being here, Mark. Hope you can hang out with us on a more regular basis. We have a lot of fun here. Awesome group of people that are hanging out here with us. So, Chad says starting to get difficult to find Mopar parts. And yes, it is. It's starting to get difficult to find anything that's early. So James is like to find a good 70 Continental non-mark. Those are interesting cars, James, finding a non-mark Continental. But yeah, I don't have anything, but those are cool old cars. Anyway, my buddy Robert did made a comment just a little bit ago that we didn't get to that I did want to touch on when we were talking, as we get into the discussion about Kissimmee, that a lot of the big cars from the 70s are coming on strong. And I actually have that in my notes, Robert. So you're thinking along the same lines as I am. Some of the stuff that was really impressive, especially low mileage, clean, original big cars. 76 Olds 98. $44,000 for a 1976 Oldsmobile. 4,000 mile original car, black, two-door, gorgeous car. But 44 grand is pretty strong money for a 76 Oldsmobile. Ralph from South Dakota just jumped on. Thanks for being here, Ralph. But there's a lot of examples like that. If you go through the Meekum results, 71 Caprice, it was a 9,000 mile car, nice car, 33 grand. You know, these cars are really starting to, I think they're starting to get the attention they deserve. I've always liked those cars. I know my buddy Robert has always liked those cars. And I'm sure that's why we both picked up on that. But, 77 Grand Prix, 25 grand. It was a low mileage, 25,000 mile car, but those cars have not been that strong. So it was really cool to see that. And it's exciting to see some of that stuff really starting to, I think, get the credit that it's due it. But it is cool. Yeah. Robert just typed in a 77 New Yorker at 15 grand. That's, a few years ago, those numbers would have been unheard of and considered insane. But, in today's world, I don't think it's out of line. I think those cars are, like I said, finally just getting the attention that they really deserve. And I think it's cool because I grew up with a lot of those cars. My buddy Robert grew up with a lot of those cars. I know a lot of us did, and a lot of us remember them. David from North Carolina just jumped on. Thanks for being here, David. And I think it's great. And I think it's, like we've talked about before, we're coming up on a huge shift in the collector car world, and it's good. It's here. It's coming, and we're on the beginning edge of it. But the collector car world is changing. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Jess likes the valve cover too. The valve cover is getting a lot of attention tonight, so that's great. That's why I put something different up every week. I hope you enjoy it. So we do have something different to look at. Kansas City just jumped on. Arkansas just jumped on. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. I'm talking too much. Anyway, so Kissimmee is running all week. I mean, it's 11 or 12-day sale, something like that. It runs through next Sunday, I think. So stay tuned. I know they've got a lot of television coverage coming up. Obviously, you can get on their website and keep tabs of what's going on. But there is some super, super cool stuff coming up next weekend on Mecum Kissimmee. Carroll Shelby's personal cars. Obviously, he's got a Cobra, a 427 Cobra that was his personal car. They're selling another GT350R. Obviously, if you've been hanging out with me, you saw the videos we did on the GT350R prototype, car 5R002 at Mecum Indy with my buddy Jim Wicks, where he gave us the in-depth detail, walk around, open the doors, under the hood, details about 5R002. And that, of course, that car hammered at $3.5 million. And there is another one of, I think they made 34 R cars, the GT350Rs. And this is a low mileage original car that is selling next weekend at Kissimmee. Get caught up on comments here real quick. Scott saw a whole transport of old trucks in Iowa last week. That's always cool seeing those rolling down the road. A transport full of old stuff. Kevin from Texas is on. Tony, a V8 Monza Spider. Tony, I don't have a Monza on the place, so I don't have any Monzas here. Those are some cars, Monza, Skyhawks. If I could find them, I would pick some up. I can't find them. Gary from Pennsylvania just jumped on. Hood for a 65 Falcon sedan delivery, Randy. I've got one 65 Falcon four-door, and I don't think it's got a hood on it. So you might give me a call when we get done, and I'll double-check that. James from Ohio is building a DeSoto, so I bet he's a fan of the valve cover as well. David, 67 to 72 short bed 4x4 frames. I don't have Chevy. I don't have any of them. Chevy, Ford, or Dodge. I don't have a 4x4 frame in any of those body styles. I don't know which one you need, but Chad seen some 71 to 76 Impala wagons on a transport the other day. Those are great cars. I love the big mid-70s wagons. Unfortunately, most of them got derbied, and I hope that's where those cars weren't heading, was for demo cars. Chad from Illinois just jumped on. We got some comments on YouTube we need to catch. James, he keeps waiting for Corvairs to go up. And that's another car that I'm not sure what's going to happen with. Those cars were something that were always kind of different and kind of had their own niche, and have not taken off yet. And I don't know if they're going to or not. They're a neat little car, especially the later 60s ones. They had some pretty cool technology in them. I don't have a good feeling for where that market's going to go, James. But, you're right. That's something that I'm not sure about. Rick's looking for a 66 Chevelle. I've got one in stock, but it's pretty rough. I don't know if you need parts or if you're looking for a project car on that, Rick. You can always give me a call when we get done. Dan says four-door cars are going up, but he's starting to notice them in car magazines, and that's true. Four-doors are not near, a four-door is not near the stigma they used to have, especially on some of the four-door hardtop cars. The four-door hardtops, the pillarless cars where you could roll all the windows down and be wide open, which, started in the mid-50s. GM came out with it in 56. Some of those four-door hardtops are really good-looking cars. So, yeah, the four-door is definitely not that big a deal. Real World Garage. Glad you're on with us, Real World Garage. Glad you did get to catch us this week. 64 Mercury earlier this week. I don't know if that was in a video or something. And I don't know if you're talking full size or comments. I know I had some comments in a video a while back. So if you want to give me a call and get some details after we get done on that Real World Garage, we'll get through that. Yeah, James says the Corvair never really did get a good raps, and that's true. Let's see. Back to Facebook. Kevin, did I sell the 46 Hudson? No, the 46 Hudson did not sell on eBay. It is still here. So if you are interested in that car, give me a call. And I can go either way with it. If you need, parts off of it, I'll go ahead and part it out, or, it would make somebody a great project. Tailgate for a 40s International card or nothing on that. Haven't had any of those come in recently. Okay, Real World Garage, you did call and said I didn't have. Okay, so maybe that was something that we did talk about. I talked to so many people, it's hard to remember all the details of all of them. So anyway, at this point, I think we're caught up on comments. So let's talk about what's coming up this weekend. We want to watch on TV Friday and Saturday at Mecum Kissimmee. Obviously the Shelbys are going to be there. They've got a ton of Shelbys coming up, and I know that's going to be a big deal. They've got a Shelby coming up that and they did sell one the other day, and I'm really curious about is what this car is going to do. Oh, Real World Garage. It was Comet quarter panels. That's right. I don't have any. I've got one two-door, and they've been radiused, so the quarters are hacked on it. Classic Ride Society prefers the sedan and the four-doors in the early 60s Chevys. And they got a different roof line than the four-door hardtops, and that is a personal preference on that. So, but there's a Shelby coming up at Mecum that I'm really curious, and it was another one of Carol's personal cars. It's an Omni. Yes, it is a Dodge Omni that was Carol Shelby's personal Omni that I'm really excited to see. And why would I be concerned about an Omni? It's a GLH, a Dodge Omni Shelby GLH. And I don't know if you remember those cars or not. They were a basic little sedan, but and I don't know if anybody knows what the GLH stood for, but they were a pretty unique little car. But if I remember correctly, they were the GLH stood for It Goes Like Hell. And that's because you got to remember, we're talking in the 80s, and it was a small little, Real World Garage is right there with us on it. So that's what, that's what they were for. They were, we looked at them at the time and said it's a Dodge Omni, because it was a Dodge Omni with some tape stripes and fancy wheels, and it was pepped up a little bit. But nobody kept them because of that. So kind of excited to see that go through. Classic Ride Society. Yes, it was a four-banger. It was a turbo four-banger. That is right, Classic Ride Society. So it is going to be something different to see. Carter says he wished he had a job like I do. He's 16, and what sucks watching people crush classics, and that does happen. And iron is going back up. It's going to start happening again. So iron price keeps going up, and that's going to happen to a lot more cars. There's a lot more stuff is going to go to the Smasher. We got more Shelby Omni GLH fans on here than I thought, because we've got them popping up all over. So actually, I'm kind of excited about that a lot of us knew what the Omni GLH was, because I was kind of excited about it. But anyway, some of the other cool stuff that's coming up: 1958 dual Ghia, Italian-bodied car with Mopar power from the late 50s. They made about 100 of them in 58. The El Morocco collection. We talked about the El Moroccos a little bit last week. The Chevrolets that they dolled up to look like Cadillacs, different grills, different tail fins. But by the time they got done with them, they were cost as much as a Cadillac, so they never really took off. But they've got 3 El Moroccos going through, which are very, very rare cars. They got a 63 Impala station wagon with 409 in it. That caught my eye. I thought that was pretty cool. The 67 Firebirds that Gas Monkey Garage did, cars number 1 and 2, that they did on several episodes where they built those cars. Those cars are going through. And 2 cars that I'm really excited to see are the twins, the GN twins, a pair of 87 Grand Nationals that were discovered a few years ago in Oklahoma in a garage. Sequential VINs. One of the cars has 599 miles. The other car has 840 miles on it. So really excited to see what those cars are going to bring. Obviously, I'm a Grand National fan, and obviously it's pretty cool to see a pair sequential VIN, literally new cars going to be rolling across the block. So definitely want to stay tuned to what's going to start happening next week at Kissimmee. And like I said, a lot of it, I don't know how much live coverage they're going to have, but I know there's going to be a ton of coverage on it. I know they usually have a lot of live coverage on Friday and Saturday for the big cars as they go through. So a few more comments we need to get caught up with. Like James says, we need to save what we can, that's for sure. And I've heard iron has already started to go up. Jess asks, when's it going up? I've heard it's already started to go up. and I've heard it could peak pretty strongly here soon, which means this stuff's going to be going to the shredder. So real world garage, those Grand Nationals are going to break the bank. I'm sure they will. The estimate on it is 175 to $225 for that pair of Grand Nationals. So, $200,000 to $250,000, it sounds like is not out of the question on those cars. Let's see. We got some other stuff. Brad still has a Shelby center cap from one of those old Omnis that he still got. And I didn't look through all the pictures, Classic Ride Society on those Grand Nationals, but the cars were stored inside, and I think they looked really good from what I could see. Robert's asking on the El Morocco's 56s or 7s. There's 3 of them, and I think there's 1 of one and 2 of the other. I don't remember which is which. So there are 56 and 57 El Moroccos that will be going across the block next week at Mecum Kissimmee. So. Anyway, that gets us caught up. Jason, if you're still on with us, do you have an OTR report for us this year? If you haven't been on with us before, Jason is our OTR buddy. He's an over-the-road trucker. He goes all over the country, and he usually makes a few notes if he sees some cool stuff in different parts of the world that we can pass on to people just in case there's something in your area that he may have seen. Like you said, he tried to buy a 41 Lincoln Zephyr, but didn't get it done, but that's still pretty cool. So, Jason, if you're still on with us, if you got an OTR report for us this week, we will sure tell everybody about it. Here we go. What do we got? Jason's been coast to coast and up to Idaho and back to Arizona. Saw a lot of stuff on I-40 West in Arkansas, tractors, cars, and even a fire truck. I-84 in Idaho near Boise, a bunch of early 70s Mopars. He thought it was around exit 54. So if you're in Idaho near Boise around exit 54 on I-84, sounds like there's some Mopars in that area. Route 287 in Florence, Arizona, some Nash Ramblers. Did not see much through Utah or Nevada, but he has seen a lot in the last couple of weeks. So thanks for that, Jason. Appreciate it. It's always great when you guys jump on and hang out and help everybody out. So that's what's great about Jason. He's all over the country. So he may be rolling down the highway and see something in your area that you might be interested in. So that's why we always want to hit the OTR report when Jason's got a minute to jump on with us. So that's why we do that as well. Let's see. Classic Ride Society. His brother lives in Tampa, and he was going to go to Carlisle. I wish you could have went to Kissimmee next week to see this stuff. Yeah, that's for sure. So anyway, thanks for the OTR report, Jason. Always appreciate you jumping on and giving that to us and sharing that with everybody. So thanks for being here, and thanks for taking notes so you can share it with all of our other car buddies. Next topic I had for tonight, and this is something kind of cool, and I'm looking for different things to do. I'm looking for different things we can talk about that are going to be interesting. And I seen something. I've been working in my office trying to pick up this disaster, and I've got thousands of old car magazines. And I thought, you know what? I bet there's cool stuff in these magazines that we could talk about as well. Grabbed the first one, almost instantly seen something that was really cool, and I thought was super neat. And even called my buddy Robert to be on with us tonight to make sure he was going to be on, because he is, he's got, Robert's a hubcap expert. He has a Facebook page, Hubcap Collectors of the U.S. So if you're a hubcap guy, you might want to check that out. Like Jason just commented, the 57 Chevy El Morocco looks like the 56 Cadillac fins. Well, that's what we talked about, Jason. That's what they were. They were dolled up to look like a Cadillac. So that's exact. So if that's how you think it looked, that's exactly what they were trying to do. So, but I found this magazine article, and we all remember the little tiny magazines. I'll show you here. I've got it right here with me. Rod and Custom, the little mini magazines. This is June of 1959. Classic Ride Society has a lot of them too. So that's great. That's what's fun about it. So I hope you guys like this. If it's something you like, I'll keep looking this stuff up. We'll find all kinds of different stuff we can talk about. One of the things that stood out, and this is like the first one I grabbed off the stack, but today we think of custom wheels. We think of all this other stuff of, designing wheels. I mean, my buddy Mike Keller at Big Creek Restorations in Ellis, Kansas, even just designed and is manufacturing a tool to measure offsets so you can mock up, to figure out what offset you're going to need, what size of wheel you can run based on the build. And again, it's a big deal. And, one-off custom wheels are super expensive, and everybody's got to have different wheels. But we got to remember, back in the 50s, you didn't have that. The only thing they had back in the 50s basically were Kelsey Hayes wires. Most manufacturers offered a Kelsey Hayes wire, but there was not custom wheels. They didn't exist. What did you have? You had hubcaps. So what I thought was cool, when I grabbed this little copy of Rod and Custom, they had an article in here. I think you can see it on there. Candy apple caps, low cost color customizing. I thought that sounds cool, because that is something that today nobody would think about doing. They will spend $6,000 on custom wheels to have something that looks different. Well, back in the day, you didn't have that option. So I grabbed this, started flipping through the magazine. 65 F100's got to jump off. Thanks for being here. Glad you made it for part of it. You can come back and check out the wheel cover section after a bit. But this is literally, it's called Color Specialists Candy Caps. And it was so cool what people did back in the day to make their ride look different by using these custom caps. And I was reading the article, and it shows all these different things of what people were doing back in the day. And I don't know how well you guys can see this stuff or not, but it talks about adding flippers, adding bars, adding bullets to wheel covers, stock wheel covers. That's a Mopar wheel cover. And I know Robert knows exactly what it is. But they took all these stock wheel covers, they added bars, they added bullets to them, and to make them custom and make them different. And they also painted them. If it was a factory wheel cover that had a painted insert, they would paint designs on them. They would paint the factory markings in a different color. All kinds of super cool stuff that they did, because that's what you had. You didn't have a lot of options back in the day. So that's what I thought was so cool about it. And when I was reading through this thing, it talks about adding glitter to them, as well as the different colors. One thing I thought was so cool when I was reading through this, a couple comments let's catch. 73 Fairlane bumpers, Tony. No 73 Fairlanes. Jess says Jess and Rico even have this magazine as well. What I thought was so cool is if we look at this picture right here, where they're masking this cap off, drawing their designs out, adding glitter. If you read the text, it says, with masking done, let's get to painting. Grab a can of Barris Color Chrome to paint the design areas. Barris Color Chrome comes in 4 colors: candy apple red, oriental blue, Parisian green, and pagan gold. Priced at $2.49 a can. And then I got to thinking, this is 1959. $2.49 was pretty good money for a can of spray paint in 1959. But there again, you look at what people spend on wheels today, and it's not a big deal. But I don't, obviously I wasn't around in 1959, but what did a lot of people make? 50, 60 cents an hour, maybe 75 cents an hour, at a part-time job, maybe $1, $1.50 at a regular job. I don't know, but $2.49 was a lot of money for spray paint. But that's how you customize. That's what you did. You worked with what you had. And that's what I thought was so great about this article. So anyway, if anybody wants to find this issue, and like I said, this is just one article. Oh, and one other thing that they did show, a lot of people are right here. They just added stickers to them. They put their Go Fast stickers right on the hubcaps. So just something that I thought was so neat when you look at what people put into wheel and tire packages today. And you look back at what people did. They worked with what they had, because that's what it's about. That's what hot rodding is about. That's where it started. And this is just such a definitive example of that I just had to bring it up and show it to you guys. So this is the June of 59 Rod and Custom. If anybody's interested and wants to look one up and try to find one for their own personal collection, all kinds of cool stuff in these. Okay, all right, Jess got us some information. In 1957, Ford was paying $1.62 an hour. So basically you had to work, by the time you took taxes out, you'd have to work 2 hours to buy a can of spray paint of Barris Color Chrome. So that's that's a pretty expensive spray paint, but Robert, my buddy Robert with Hubcap Collectors of the U.S. Says Moon Eyes. That's right. Yeah, Moon Eyes was always a big deal. Those stickers on the full disc caps. So something different, something neat. If you guys like that, I mean, I'll keep looking. Like I said, I've got thousands of magazines. I'll just kind of keep my eyes peeled to add tidbits in here and there. If you guys like it, it's cool stuff and something kind of different to do. So anyway, we better get rolling. I know we're kind of starting to run long here, and I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to me all night. So, but like I said, let me know what you think of looking at a few blips and a few old magazines, if that's something that we want to continue to do and kind of keep working in. So let's get to some trivia real quick. Toy Tuesday last week, we looked at the Plymouth Drag Race board game, which is a super cool piece that I love. There were some other pieces inside of it that I had thrown in the box that we did show. And so I wanted the trivia question tonight. The can we've got tonight is going to be a Prestone Radiator Flush. It is a metal can. It's a smaller one, like a pint. It doesn't have any really fancy cool graphics on it, but this can does have really good color with really nice paint. So it doesn't have any cool pictures, but it is a nice can quality wise. It is sealed. So it's kind of a cool piece. So we're going to send that to the winner tonight. Last week's winner, if you're on, I never heard from you. I've still got your can as well. If you want to give me a call after we get done, so I can get that out to you this week. We've already got one vote from Jason to continue. So I hope that means continue with the mixing some old magazine stuff in as well. Classic Ride Society has some R12 cans that he found in the trunk of the car with 99-cent price tags on them. So that's kind of crazy. So Dawn, thanks for being here. Glad you were here with us. Tonight's trivia for the winner to win the Prestone can. In the box in the Plymouth Drag Race game, there were a couple of stickers. One of them was a CAMS sticker. The other sticker was a sticker that was really important to me for a clinic. What clinic was that? Jess is down with starting keeping up with some magazine stuff too, with some old magazines from the 50s and 60s. What was the clinic sticker that was in the Plymouth Drag Race game that we talked about on Toy Tuesday last week? As always, I will take the first correct answer that I see. I've got to work with what the system is feeding me. So I will keep an eye on the comments as we roll along here to see if we get a winner tonight for what was the sticker for the clinic in the Plymouth Drag Race game box. New inventory this week, more Fords. I picked up a couple of more Fords. There we go. Chris got it on YouTube. Chris is our winner. Well, I think he got it. He fat fingered a key. It's the Landry Clinic. It was the Dick Landy Performance Clinic. Dick Landy Dodge, when they would go around to dealerships and do the performance clinics. And this is a really special sticker to me. A good buddy of mine, when I first went to work for Chrysler, I was with warranty administration straight out of college. Great buddy of mine, Ray Kotler, who had been around since the 60s and helped train me when I started with the company. He gave me this. This is a leftover original from when he was setting up Dick Landy performance clinics at Dodge dealers in the late 60s. We can look at the back of it. Still has the original back information on it. Glenn's voting yes for the magazines as well. So it looks like everybody likes those as well. So that's the sticker we were talking about, the Dick Landy Dodge Performance Clinics. Chris is our winner tonight. So give me a shout after we get done. If you were our winner last week, I don't have your name in front of me because I don't have that notepad with me. But, give me a call if you're last week's winner as well. New inventory. Picked up a couple Fords. Like I said, 1951 Ford car, two-door sedan. Nothing fancy, just a basic two-door post car. Been sitting for years. These both come off of a farmstead in western Kansas. Interior's pretty rough, but dash and everything is there. Seat frames are there. Hood is got some rust in the front of it. Because we all know those 51 Fords are kind of tough to find. Front fender, same way, rust down in the lower areas. But the grill is in it. The grill is solid. It has surface rust, but it's not rusted out. So definitely still some good parts there. And the other one that was there was a 1952 Ford truck. It was an F6 chassis cab. Unfortunately, the grain bed, I probably had a grain bed on it. It was gone. So I didn't have to mess with that. But a really nice cab, a little bit of rust in the cab corners, and they notched the floor in the middle where they took the transmission out of it. but cab looks really, really good. All the dashes in it, front clips all on it. Grill is almost perfect. Few small dingies, but the grill is gorgeous. With all 3 teeth are nice and straight on it. So we'll have a video coming on those soon. Another vote for doing some old car magazines. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Lee. Appreciate the vote. 55 Packards Classic Ride Society. I've got one that is a 55 or 56. I don't remember which one for sure. It is on a video from a few months ago, but I want to say it was a 56, but I'm not sure. It's one or the other. If you can't find the video, give me a call. I can get you some pictures of it or something. It's not complete. It's just a parts car, and it is a 4-door. So, but that's the only Packard I've got in that era. So, anyway, what's coming up this week, video-wise? New inventory. I did shoot a video on those 2 Fords that we will be posting this week. I'm hoping to meet with the fire department this week. I put a call into them last week because I want to show you the video with the Hyundais. Yeah, I hope I didn't shock any of you too bad last week when I told you that I'm going to have a video with 2 Hyundais in it. But actually, we did put Hyundais to good use because we practiced on them with the Jaws of Life. So that was pretty cool, and that was a lot of fun. I've got that video ready, but I do not want to post it until the fire department looks at it and rubber stamps it and says they're good with it. So still working on that. I shot another one today in the new yard. So I've got that ready as well. Any old Car Life magazines, Chris asks. Yes, I've got tons of Car Life. In fact, I've got a few Car Lifes that have some articles in them that I was thinking about using here coming up if tonight went well. So absolutely got some Car Life, and there's some great stuff in Car Life. You're 100% right. So definitely we will. It seems like everybody liked it. So we'll start working in some of those features. And sometimes if there isn't anything going on, because like last year, sometimes there isn't any auctions going on or car shows going on or swap meets going on to talk about. We may talk about 2 car magazine articles or something. We'll just see how it goes. But as long as you guys like them, everything's cool, and we think it's fun, we'll keep working them in. So, and then Friday night we'll do another video from his yard that where he's retired, not open regularly anymore. But but that's okay because he's letting me shoot some videos. And he said, hey, if somebody has questions or needs something or is interested in something, like he said, just call me and I can, we can help get something set up if there's something you see in those videos that you need as well. So we can still get you taken care of. It's just going to be not quite as quick as if I had it in my possession at this time. So we'll have another one of those coming up. So we'll definitely get the new inventory video up on the Fords, and we'll definitely have one for my buddy's yard. And like I said, hopefully we'll get the one where we get to cut up some Hyundais. If not, we'll do some more stuff in the new yard coming up this week. So Carlton, I need to replace the windshield of my 73 F100, but it has original stickers on them. Is there a way to take them off or replace them? That depends a lot, Carlton, on what kind of stickers they were. Were they regular adhesive? Some of those were like a waterborne deal. If they're a regular adhesive sticker and they're still intact, you might be able to heat them and slowly kind of peel them off. But depending on what kind of sticker it is and how intact it is going to depend on whether or not you're going to be able to get them off and save them. But I agree with you 100%. If you can save them, that's super cool. Car Life or Classic Ride Society have any cartoons magazines? I don't have any real early cartoons. I used to get it. I used to take it back in the 80s, and I've still got some of those around. But I don't have any of the really early cartoons. Scott says on the stickers, heat gun. That's right, Scott. Heat them up. Use a heat gun if they're a regular adhesive sticker, and you might be able to save them. So anybody that's not familiar with cartoons, it was basically a comic book of car stuff. So I've got some, but not a ton, and I don't have any real early ones. So like I said, I've got thousands of magazines, and hey, since you guys like it, we will definitely keep working some of them in. Kevin asked my video. Yes, Kevin, I am on YouTube as well as Facebook. I post the videos on Facebook on the Nobody Show channel, but to go back and really look at the videos, going back to YouTube is by far the easiest. And we are live on YouTube right now as well, Kevin. I'm on 2 formats. So yeah, I'm on YouTube, and that's the easiest way to find all the rest of the videos that I post. Alan says he got to be close and personal when he had to get cut out of a vehicle with Jaws of Life. And yeah, I was on the outside using them, so that was a little different. Yeah, that would be a little different when if you were inside and they were trying to cut you out. But sounds like everything worked out because you're here hanging out with us. So we're glad it all worked out with you, or glad it worked out for you when they did have to cut you out. There's lots of people that remember cartoons. My buddy Robert remembers it. Glenn still says Glenn in Minnesota still has some of his cartoons. So maybe we'll have to dig a few of those out. A lot more people remember them than I thought would as well. So anyway, that's what I've got for you guys tonight. I know we ran a little long, and that happens when we try to put too much content in, which is kind of my fault for doing it. But I knew we needed to talk about Kissimmee, and when I saw the hubcap deal, I was like, that's just too cool. So anyway, we'll get ready to wrap up. Anybody got any last-minute comments or questions, be sure to throw them up there as we wrap up or try to squeeze them in. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Sometimes the feed gets going pretty quick, and I may miss one or two. And like I said, sometimes I just don't get them. So that's something that I'm up against too. My buddy Brent remembers the cartoons. Everybody remembers the cartoons. That's great. Dan likes the magazine idea. Classic Ride Society cartoons are the only comic books he would even read. But that's what's so great about the group we've got on here. One little thing, one from one viewer, and it brought back a flood of memories for a bunch of us. So that's what's so exciting about it, and that's why it's so much fun being on here with all of you guys. And Ralph agrees with us on Facebook. Ralph just said, great show. He's having a good time with us too. So that's what's so great about the group we've got on here. That's why the interaction is so awesome. One comment from one person just brought back a flood of memories for a ton of us that are hanging out here. So glad you're here with me. Glad we get to do it. My buddy Bill likes it. Bill Twitchell, great friend of mine. Glad he's on with us. And he's been on with us regularly as well. So we're having a lot of fun on here. And like I keep telling you guys, I'm just the lucky one that gets to sit here and hang out with you. This is about us. This is about all of us. We've got a great group on here. It's a great community. Tell your friends about us. Have them jump on with us. If you're on Facebook, throw a share out there when we get rolling, and let your friends come hang out. We're having a ton of fun on here, and I'm glad we're doing it. So as always, if you've got any specific questions, just give me a call about vehicles or parts. Having that short conversation about your vehicle, your make, model, body style, direction you're going with your build, all that stuff is what I need to know if I've got something here that can help you out, because everybody wants something different. So Crass and Bernie. Wow. Robert just brought up Crass and Bernie from cartoons. Hadn't thought about that in a long time. Kevin says he doesn't mind the fact that it's longer because the magazine stuff was cool. Dodge station wagon, 14-inch rims with a small 4-bolt pattern, Terry. I'm not sure. I don't think I do. I don't know what those would be off of. I don't know if you're talking real small like K-Car or not. But you can touch base with me after we get done and we'll see. Real World Garage will call back. Okay, no problem. Jason says he's having a good time with us. Thanks for being here. So anyway, we'll try to get wrapped up. I know I kept you guys too long, but we get going and we start having fun, and that happens. But that's what happens when you're hanging out with all your car buddies. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Stay tuned. We'll throw the new inventory video up tomorrow night. We'll do some live Toy Tuesday evening. Got another box from my buddy Phil. My buddy Phil, who writes for Old Cars Weekly and covers a lot of the auctions, sent me another care package. I got some really cool stuff in that box I'm really excited about. We'll talk about that on Toy Tuesday. We'll do it live, and I will do it live on Facebook. Then we'll throw it up on YouTube as well. Let's see, couple more comments. Vic likes hanging out with us. He loves the show, but he needs to sell his inventory. Oh, maybe Vic may have some cool stuff for us too. Glenn is requesting longer shows. So, okay. I don't want to bore you, but Glenn wants us to go longer. Chad's having fun with us. So I'm glad you guys are here, and I'm glad we're having fun. That's the whole purpose. And that's why we do it. That's why I do it, because we're having fun. So Toy Tuesday live, my new care package from my buddy Phil. We'll catch some stuff Wednesday night. Maybe we'll have the fire department stuff Wednesday night. And we'll catch some more stuff in my buddy's yard Friday night. Thanks for being here, everybody. Had a great time with you guys tonight. It was a blast. Maybe the pumping in some magazine format stuff from the old days it was going to be a good time too. So thanks for being here, everybody. Have a good night. Be safe. And Thanks for watching. We will see you soon, and we definitely want to see you back here next Sunday night for the live chat. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you later.